we'll see how it is different from linear permutation. So up until now, what we've been doing is what we call as linear permutation, the permutation which we do on a single line, like this horizontally, right? So the permutation that we do like this horizontally is linear permutation. But for circular permutation, what do you do? Circular permutation, you will do permutation this way, right? So this is how you do permutation. Your permutation will follow this path, right? Your linear permutation followed this path, right? This is linear permutation. But in circular permutation, guys, your permutation will follow either you can choose the clockwise direction or you can choose this anti-clockwise direction. Okay, so whichever direction you want, you can choose it. Okay, so here we'll choose the anti-clockwise direction. So maybe this is the path. This is its path, right? Here this is it. This is in linear or linear permutation. This is its path. This is the path. Now you have to be careful while doing circular permutation. It is either this way or this way, right? So you in linear permutation, guys, we'll have an example of ABC. Okay. Now we take this as ABC from left to right. Do you take it as CBA also? Now, if you take it as CBA, that is a different permutation, right? ABC is not the same as CBA, right? So, if you take it from left to right, it is ABC. From right to left, it is CBA, right? So, ABC and CBA are two different permutations. So, here what we are doing is in linear permutation, we are going from left to right only, okay? So, similarly, in a circular permutation, either you choose the anti-clockwise direction or you choose the clockwise direction. Okay, here either you can choose left to right or right to left. Okay, but you have to stick with it. Okay, you have to follow only one direction. Okay, similarly, here you either choose anti-clockwise or you choose clockwise direction. In one direction only you can go. Okay, for example, if I want to do this ABC arrangement in anti-clockwise direction, what I'll do is I'll take the A here, yeah, here. Now I'll take the B and put it over here. Now I'll take the C and put it over here, right? So you can see ABC here and anti-clockwise direction. I've done ABC. Okay, so this is how you arrange it in a circular thing. If I had to arrange it in a clockwise direction, guys, so this is clockwise, right? So this direction is clockwise. So if I had to arrange ABC in a clockwise direction, what will happen is, so I'll have A here, then I'll have a B here, then I'll have a C here. This is clockwise, right? So A, B, C. So I'm going in the direction of the clock. Here I'm going in the direction against the clock, A, B, C, right? So this is clockwise, this is anti-clockwise. Now you have to understand this and this are not the same. Yes, it is two different things. It's very similar to ABC. If you go from left to right, guys, if you go from left to right, it is ABC, right? If you go from right to left, it is CBA. Now tell me, ABC and CBA, are they the same permutations or two different permutations? It is two different permutations, right? Similarly, if you go from in the clockwise direction, you are getting CBA. If you go in the anti-clockwise direction, you are getting ABC. So it is on the clockwise and anti-clockwise are two different permutations. Okay, the clockwise and anti-clockwise are two different permutations. So you have to understand that. Okay. So what you have to do is when you do circular permutations, you just pick any direction and then stick with it. Here we are using the normal way is from left to right. We always consider from left to right. From right to left also you can consider. Okay, but everything you have to do from right to left. So that will be difficult. So similarly, if anti-clockwise is difficult for you, consider clockwise. Okay. So we'll consider clockwise, and you have to consider only clockwise. So for the whole of the problem. Here you never consider from right to left, right? All the permutations you always look, start and go, you start from the left and go to the right hand side, right? So make sure when you do all the permutations, you have to do it clockwise direction only. Okay, so just for the sake of it, we'll take clockwise. Okay. So let's try to arrange 1, 2 linearly first and then circularly next. So in linear arrangement, guys, as I told you, we start from left and go right. So first I do 1 2, and then I'll interchange it and do 2 1. Right. So these are the possible arrangements, and this can be done in 2 factorial ways. 2 factorial is nothing but 2. You already know this, right? Now the same thing if you are trying to do it circularly. Okay, so linear arrangement is n factorial. So you know this, right? Now if you are trying to do circular arrangement, the formula for this is very simple. It is just n minus 1 factorial. So you, without even trying out the diagrams, you can just say if uh, uh, 1 comma 2 can be arranged in 2 factorial ways linearly, then it will be arranged in 2 minus 1 1 factorial way, which is 1. There is only one way in which you can arrange it circularly, right? So we'll also look at the diagram and understand this reason about why. Now in circular arrangement, I told you, you start and follow a direction, either clockwise or anti-clockwise. Okay, so for the sake of convenience, we'll do clockwise. Now what we'll do is, guys, I am going to see, this is a circular permutation. Now this is a circular permutation, and I'm going to do clockwise. Okay, so if you see the directions that the arrow marks are pointing towards, it is a clockwise direction. So here, so if you are arranging it this way, what could be the first combination that you can have? 2 1. Yes, you are able to have this first combination, which is 2 1. Okay, so here you can say that I got 2 1. Okay, so 2 1 is in this circular arrangement. Now circular meaning it is only one direction, either it is clockwise or anti-clockwise. You can choose anything. Okay, now I've chosen clockwise. So as you can see from this arrow marks, I'm going clockwise. So first, if I look at it this way, 2 comma 1 will be my first combination. So 2 comma 1 is represented in this circular arrangement. Not only 2 comma 1, look at this, 1 comma 2 is also arranged. Yes, this is also circular, I mean clockwise direction, right? Not only 2 comma 1, 1 comma 2 is also represented in the same circular arrangement. So not only 2 comma 1, 1 comma 2 is also represented here. So in linear arrangement, we needed two different ways of two different arrangements, or two ways of permutating, but in circular arrangement we just needed one. So that is why I said here, if it is 2 factorial, then it will be 2 minus 1 1 factorial. Okay, so now let us look at other numbers, just so that you get an understanding of this. So it's one way, right? Now if you, instead of two numbers, it is three numbers. Now what will you do? Linearly, you know how to do it, right? First we'll do linear arrangement. So in linear arrangement, you will have 1 2 3 1 3 2 2 1 3 2 3 1. What is the next one? Yes, 3 1 2. The next one is 3 2 1. Yes, so these are the six possibilities, guys. So this can be done in six ways, which we usually call. Now, what could be the answer for circular arrangement? Now, can you tell me without uh, drawing the circle, arranging it in a circular arrangement? Can you tell me what the answer is? Yes. See, what is 6 ways? 6 ways is nothing but 3 factorial. So what will be the circular arrangement? It will be 3 minus 1, 2 factorial, right? Just look at this formula. So if linear arrangement is 3 factorial, circular arrangement will be 3 minus 1, 2 factorial. So if it's 6 ways, circular arrangement will be 2 factorial, 2 ways, right? So you can get the answer like that, but still you have to understand how to is the correct answer, right? So we'll try to draw it. Okay, what I am doing here is I'm taking 1 2 3. Okay, I'm taking this first one, guys, 1 2 3, and putting it in a circular clockwise direction. Yes, now 1 2 3 is in clockwise direction, right? So if you have a look at this direction, and they are in clockwise direction. Okay, so here I'll take 1 2 3. Now in clockwise direction, starting with 1, what can I form? Yes, you know, in a circle we just have to do one direction. Now we've chosen the clockwise direction. So 1 2 3. Yes, so 1 2 3 is represented. So what we'll do is we'll put a tick mark over here. So 1 2 3 is represented. Now we cannot go anti-clockwise. So you cannot say 1 3 2, because I told you there is only one direction you can go, right? So this direction is not possible. So 1 3 2 is not possible. So let's see, starting with 2, what is possible? 2 3 1 is possible. Yes, because this is clockwise direction, right? So 2 3 1 is possible, right? Now starting with 3, what is possible? 3 1 2 is possible. Okay, so starting with 3 3 1 2 is possible. So this is where we have a problem. The rest of the three, okay, if I strike out whatever is completed, we still have three more possibilities which are yet to be accounted. Okay, so for that you will have to go anti-clockwise direction, but I told you we just have to follow one direction, right? So just change the numbers. Instead of 1 2 3, do 1 3 2. Okay, so that is what we are going to do in the next arrangement. See, you can see I've done, instead of 1 2 3, what have I done? I done 1 3 2. Okay, so this is again I'm going clockwise direction. I told you you should, if you choose one direction, you should stick to it. So see, this is also clockwise. Now look at this, 1 3 2. Yes, so you can strike this out. So we have a representation for 1 3 2 now, right? Now starting with 3 3 2 1. So we have a representation for 3 2 1 also. Then 2 1 3. So we have a representation for 2 1 3 also. So all the 6 are represented, and for us to represent the 6 we needed two circular arrangements. Okay, so this you could say is because you needed this two ways guys. So in general you could say linear arrangement, if it is, this is 3 factorial, right? This is 2 factorial. Similarly, this is 2 factorial, this is 1 factorial. Okay, so in general, if linear arrangement takes n factorial, circular arrangement will take n minus 1 factorial. Right, we are going to find 1 2 3 4 for this linearly and circularly, guys. First, linear arrangement. Okay, now 1 2 3 4, 1 2 4 3, 1 3 2 4, 1 3 4 2, then 1 4 2 3, and 1 4 3 2. I'll talk about what these colors mean, but next 2 1 3 4, 2 1 4 3, 2 3 1 4, 2 3 4 1, 2 4 1 3, 2 4 3 1. So similarly you will have 24 such possibilities, and the reason is, guys, the reason is 4 factorial. We have 4 digits here, right? So 1 2 3 4, so 4 factorial will give you 24 ways. Now circular arrangement, you tell me what the answer is for circular arrangement. You already know it, right? Without doing all the diagrams, you know, if linear arrangement is n factorial, circular arrangement is n minus 1 factorial. So if here linear arrangement is 4 factorial, so what will the circular arrangement be? How many circular arrangements you need? You need 4 minus 1, 3 factorial. What is 3 factorial? 6. So there are 6 circular arrangements you have to make to represent all these 24 cases. Okay, so 6. So that is why you see 6 colors here. Do you see the 6 colors here, guys? One is pink, red, orange, black, blue, violet. You see the 6 colors. It is because of the 6 representations. Okay, so anyway, we'll have a look at it. Now the first one, I start with 1 2 3 4, and we choose the clockwise direction, right? Remember, so I choose, let's see, 1 2 3 4. Okay, maybe. So I've not done 1 2 3 4. I've done 1 2 4 3. Okay, so you can see this color, right? Red color. So red color says here also it is red. So instead of 1 2 3 4, I started with 1 2 4 3. So you can start with 1 2 3 4. There is nothing wrong in it. Okay, I just chose 1 2 4 3 first. Okay, so 1 2 4 3. Now we need not stop there. Okay, starting with 2, what do we have in clockwise? 2 4 3 1. See, 2 4 3 1 is also in red. Yes, we've covered that. What it means is we've covered that possibility. Now starting with 4, what do we have? 4 3 1 2. See, 4 3 1 2 is also in red. We've covered that. Starting with 3, what do we have? 3 1 2 4. So 3 1 2 4 is also covered. Okay, right now. So we just can do only 4 possibilities. We can cover only 4 possibilities with this one diagram. So what I'll do is, next one is, I'll do the 1 2 3 4, the first one, right? So 1 2 3 4. Okay, now you have to take the clockwise direction. Okay, now here you can see 1 2 3 4, that is already marked in pink. Next, starting with 2, what do we have? 2 3 4 1. Remember, you have to go in the clockwise direction. 2 3 4 1. So 2 3 4 1 is also marked in pink. Next, starting with 3 3 4 1 2. So 3 4 1 2 is also marked in pink. So starting with 4, you have 4, 1, 2, 3. So as you can see, 4, 1, 2, 3 is also marked in pink. Okay. So let's take the next one. So next I want 1, 3, 2, 4. Okay. So I'll take 1, 3, 2, 4. So 1, 3, 2, 4. So again clockwise, starting with 3, I'll get 3, 2, 4, 1. So see 3, 2, 4, 1 is marked in orange, and then 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3 is also marked in orange, and then 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2 is also marked in orange. Okay, so we are accounting for that also. Next I'll do 1, 3, 4, 2. So I'll start with 1, then 3, then 4, then 2. Right guys? So again, as you can see, 1, 3, 4, 2, and then so starting with 3, 3, 4, 2, 1. So you can see that is marked in black, 3, 4, 2, 1. Then 4, 2, 1, 3 is also marked in black. Then 2, 1, 3, 4 is also marked in black. So we are following the clockwise direction. So the next one will be 1, 4, 2, 3, guys. So you can see then 1, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 1 is marked in blue. 2, 3, 1, 4 marked in blue. 3, 1, 4, 2 marked in blue. Yes, 1, 4, 2, 3 again marked in blue. You can see all the blue things. Okay, so all the blue things are also accounted for. Now, final one 1, 4, 3, 2. Okay, again starting with 4, 3, 2, 1, we have it marked in violet or dark blue. 3, 2, 1, 4 also is here in dark blue. 2, 1, 4, 3 is also here in dark blue. As you can see, using the 6 circular arrangements, I am able to represent this 24 linear arrangements of these 4 digits. Okay, so without the 6, you cannot account for all this 24. You cannot represent all this 24 linear arrangements, guys. So that is why I need 6. So 6 is nothing but 3 factorial. Yes. So I could say, so what I could say is I could say 3 factorial 6. So as you can see, linear is 4 factorial, circular is 3 factorial. It is 1 less than the linear. Okay, circular will always be 1 less than the linear. Okay, not 1 less base, 1 less factorial. Okay, okay. So as a rule, if linear arrangement is n factorial, circular arrangement will be n minus 1 factorial, guys. Okay. At this point, I'd like you to revisit arranging 3 items linearly and circularly. So you can, as you can see, you can arrange 3 items linearly in 3 factorial ways. You know that, right? So 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2, 2, 1, 3, 2, 3, 1, 3, 1, 2, and 3, 2, 1. Okay, this is how you can arrange 3 items linearly. Linearly meaning horizontally or in a line. Now, this can be done in 6 ways. So what is 6? It is 3 factorial, which is 6. Now circular arrangement will be 3 minus 1 factorial, which is 2 factorial. Now how do we get, why do I have these two colors? It is each color represents each circle, okay, or each circular arrangement. So first let's take 1, 2, 3 and do it in the clockwise direction. You know, we'll just have to take only one direction, right? So if we do this, we see that in one direction what you have is 1, 2, 3, right? So in one direction you have 1, 2, 3, and starting with 2 you have we'll make it as clockwise, and starting with 2 we'll have 3 and 1. So 2, 3, 1 is marked in gray, orange, and starting with 3 we have 3, 1, 2. So 3, 1, 2 is also marked in orange. Okay, now so we are just able to cover only 3 out of 6. Now we have to cover the other 3, right? So you have to form a circle for that. Okay, so you form a circle starting with 1, 3, 2. Now when you form a circle starting with 1, 3, 2, now this will give you all the blue things. So not only 1, 3, 2, it will also give you 2, 1, 3. It will also give you 3, 2, 1. Okay, so that is why if you can do this in 6 ways, the same circular arrangement can be done in 2 ways. Okay, so or in other words, if linear arrangement is 3 factorial, the circular arrangement, the corresponding circular arrangement will be 3 minus 1 factorial, which is 2 factorial. And you know 2 factorial is equal to 2. Yes, so in general, guys, You can take this to be n factorial and take this to be n minus 1 factorial. Okay, so this is what we learned, right? In circular permutation, this is what we do, right? Now suppose here I shouldn't call this circular arrangement, guys. I should call this arrangement of necklace or garland, because they don't follow the circular arrangement rule, which is n minus 1 factorial. I could call this a special case of circular arrangement that I can do. Okay, the reason is you've seen a necklace, right? When you see a necklace, guys, just look at it in the mirror. How does it look? It looks the same. Okay, or why does it look the same in the mirror? It means the right hand side and the left hand side are exactly same. It is symmetrical. We call it as symmetrical. Say the right hand side and the left hand side are exactly the same. When you have the right hand side and the left hand side to be the same, what does it mean? It means the clockwise moment, whatever you get, is the same as the anti-clockwise. So the clockwise and anti-clockwise are not two different things, they are the same thing. Okay, here if you had a look, clockwise and anti-clockwise was not the same thing, right? Clockwise 1 2 3, anti-clockwise 1 3 2. Is it the same thing? 1 2 3 1 3 2, is it the same thing? No, right? But here it will be the same thing, because have you seen necklaces? They are all identical. The things in necklaces are identical. Because they are identical, they will be the same. Okay, so if we had to arrange 1 2 3 where 1 2 3 are identical, guys, here 1 2 3 are identical. Now maybe you can change it as 1 1 1. Okay, so maybe you can change this as, yeah, so change this as 1 1 1. Okay, so instead of 1 2 3, change this 1 1 1. Okay, now you'll understand it better. Now what happens is, three beads, okay, all those three beads look alike, right? They form a necklace. Now again, if you have to form a bead, guys, here it is not 1 2 3. Okay, so it is again, this we'll strike it out, and this we'll strike it out and have 1 here. Okay, so this is actually 1 and this is actually 1. Now tell me, if you do this clockwise, you will get 1 1 1. If you do this anti-clockwise also, you will get what? 1 1 1. Right? Yes, guys, yes. It is symmetrical. That is the reason why we have it. It is not only this. Okay, I'll also tell you. Okay, it be 1 to 1? Can this be 1 to 1? Instead of 1, guys, I take 2. Now is it symmetrical or not? If you go clockwise, you get 1 to 1. You go anti-clockwise, you also get 1 to 1. Okay, so this is what I meant when I said it should be symmetrical. Okay, it should be like this. Okay, so now necklaces, garlands are like that. Okay, and whenever the clockwise and anti-clockwise gives you the same thing, okay, you can say they form this type of arrangement. So here you can see the number of things, uh, if you are able to, now all the six combinations, right? All the six combinations, you will be able to do it in a single diagram, okay, or single circular arrangement, right? So let's take this example of one itself. So all the six combinations will become 1 1 1. Everything will become 1 1 1, right? So you can do it in one motion itself, one clockwise movement itself. You don't need the anti-clockwise. So what we do is, this n minus 1 factorial has both the clockwise and the anti-clockwise. That is what this n minus 1 factorial has, guys. That is why we have these two things. Okay, you can take this to be clockwise, this to be anti-clockwise. Okay, just for reference purpose. So n minus 1 factorial has both clockwise and anti-clockwise. So here, because both are same, you just need one of it. You don't need both. Okay, because you need one of it, here the formula will be n minus 1 factorial divided by 2. Okay, so here the formula would be n minus 1 factorial divided by 2. Okay, as the directions indicate, both clockwise and anti-clockwise here up is the same. Okay, so here it is one way you can arrange it. And usually when you have this necklace or garland, just make sure that you use this formula, n minus 1 factorial divided by 2. Okay, So we look at what are subsets and combinations. It is also an important topic. You guys have to understand what is subsets and combinations. Now if I tell you the combination of n objects taken r at a time, okay, so how will you find it? The combination of n objects taken r at a time, how will you find it? It is ncr, am I right? Yes. So combination of n objects taken, so as you can see, we take combination of n objects taken r at a time. We do it using NCR ways. But what if you are asked to find combination of n objects taken zero things at a time, or some things at a time, or all at a time? These are also called the subsets of the original n element, guys. Okay, and we say it is 2 power n. I'll tell you what it all means. First, try to understand what a combination of n objects taken 0 at a time mean. Okay, now here what it means is, so let us take this example, where I want you to show this example. 5 objects taken 0 at a time, that is n objects taken 0 at a time, right? So n is 5 here. This is n objects taken 0 at a time. So it is 5c0. Okay, so this is taking none. Okay, you're not taking anything at all. This can be done. 5c0 is 1, right? So you can do it in one way. Now sum, what comes under sum category? This comes under sum. You're choosing 1 out of 5. It is choosing some things, right? If you choose 2 out of 5, again it is choosing some things. 3 out of 5 is also some things. 4 out of 5 is also some things. Now 5 out of 5 is not something, it is all. Okay, so this is the meaning of this. When they talk about combination of n different objects taking 0 at a time, it means they are talking about this. You can do it in only one way. Okay, they are taking out nothing is done in only one way. Similarly, taking out everything or arranging all the 5 elements can be done in only one way. Okay, so all elements and no elements, guys. So these two things are always done one. Okay, this the value of these things are always one. Okay, now this is taking 0 things at a time, this is taking all at a time. This is combination of n things taken some at a time. Okay, now what is 5c1? I think, I suppose you'll get a value of 5, plus 5c2 is 10, again 5c3 is 10, 5c4 is 5. So you're getting 30, right? So totally you have 32, guys. Here you have to understand that out of this 32, this 32 is what we call as subsets. This 32 is what I call as subsets. Okay, they call it as subsets. This 30, out of this 32 subsets, 31 are proper subsets. Okay, and one is improper subset. Now why do you say like that, guys? Why is it that? So the reason we call this proper is, see, usually a subset will be less than the original number. The number of elements in the subset will be less than the number of total elements, right? So all these fit that category. Okay, so here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, they're all less than 5. But this one is not that way. Okay, here the subset is not less than the number of elements in the subset is not less than the original number of elements. It is equal. So that is why we call this an improper subset, guys. Okay, it is not a improper subset, but still that comes under the subset category. So if they ask you how many subsets are there, you should say 32. Okay, but if they ask you how many proper and improper, then you will have to say accordingly. Proper is 31, which is 30 plus 1, and improper is 1. Yeah, this is NC0. Combination of n objects taken 0 at a time is NC0. And again, combination of n objects taken all at a time is NC n ways. You know this, right? 5C0, 5C5. Very similar. Instead of 5, we just have n. Now, combination of n objects taken some at a time will be, it will start from NC1 and it will go up until NCn minus 1. Okay, it won't go to NCN because NCN is all at a time. So it will go up to the term that is before NCN. The what is before NCN is NCN minus 1. So this will give you the thing. Now combination of n different things taken 0 or some or all the time can be given as the sum of all these guys. So NC0, NCN, NC1 to NCN minus 1. So this is what it is: NC0, NC1 to NCN minus 1, then NCN. Okay, now this sum of all this will be equal to 2 power n. This is the key point here. Okay, that is what it says here, right? Now sum of all this is nothing but you find the values of all this. We just found 32, right? Yes. What was the value of n there? 5. So what is 2 power 5? It is 32. So you don't need to find these values separately. Just know the value of n. Okay, n is 5. Just do 2 power 5, 32. That's it, you get the answer. This is actually a shortcut, guys. Okay. So we look at how we use this in a problem. So you know combination of 5 different objects taken 0 or some or all at a time is 5 0, 5C0, 5C1, 5C2, 5C3, 5C4, 5C5 and is equal to 2 power 5, right? So how do we say that? So you add all these values, find out all these values, you'll get 32. Now what is 32? 32 is 2 power 5. So you don't need to find all these values, just take this value of n and 2 power the n will give you the answer. Okay. So here 5C0, 5C1, 5C2, 5C3 and 5C4 are proper subsets of the original set with 5 elements, and 5C5 are improper, is an improper subset because it refers to the original set with 5 elements. Yes, so it is not like a subset. Subset usually is something that is less than the original number of sets. Okay, now out of 32 subsets, 31 are proper subsets and 1 is improper subset. Okay, now look at this question: in how many ways can a person eat 10 items served for him at dinner? Okay, so in how many ways can a person eat 10 items served for him at dinner? So obviously there are 10 different items, okay, not same items. 10 different items. Now he can eat nothing, right? So he can eat nothing, and that is 10C0, right? 10C0 out of 10 he is eating nothing, so 10C0, so he's selecting nothing. That is equation 1. He can eat some items, so that will start from 10C1, 10C2, 10C3. All these are sum, right? 1 out of 10 is sum, 2 out of 10 is sum, 3 out of 10 is sum. So this will continue up until 9 out of 10. Okay, so some items can be done in these ways. So you this is mark this as equation number 2. All items can be eaten in only one way, 10C10. Okay, so that you can mark it as 3. Okay. Now if you have to find in how many ways the person eats, he can eat from 10C0 to 10C10. All this is possible. So you have to add everything, adding one. So from 10C0, 10C1, 10C2, 10C3, 10C4, 10C5 up to 10C10, you have to find the values and add it. How did you get this 32? You found all these values and then added it to get 32, right? Similarly, you have to find all these values. Now, for 10 it is manageable. What if it is 100? As the n increases, it becomes difficult. This is why we have this formula. You don't need to find all this, just find 2 power 10. What is 2 power 10? 1024. So the value of all this, you find the sum of all this, you'll get 1024. Okay, you can, if you want, you can check it, but make sure that you use this shortcut formula, guys. Okay, this is a very important shortcut, so I'll mark it over here. So please make sure that you use this shortcut. Don't keep finding the values when it is unnecessary. Okay, right. Distribution, a very important concept. So before we dive into what is distribution, I would like to tell you something about distribution. Okay, right? So I want you to understand the difference between permutation and distribution. Permutation, what is permutation? You guys know permutation, it is arrangement, right? Arrangement is what we call as permutation. So in this case, had they asked you guys, in this case, had they asked you guys, in how many ways can you arrange these 5 balls into these 3 boxes? So you would say 5p3, right? That is how you, that is how many is, because out of a total of 5, you are arranging 1 2 3 3, it could be 1 2 3 or 3 4 5, right? You could have many possibilities. So you could have 1 3 4. This is one of the possibility, right? Now what could be the other possibility? Now the other possibility could be 2 5 1. This is also a possibility, right? So this is arrangement, this is permutation, but this is not what distribution means. Distribution is totally a different thing. In arrangement, the maximum number of things that you can have in this box will be 1, because you cannot have another one on top of this, right? In arrangement, but in distribution, that is exactly what we can have. In one box, you can have 5 balls. You can distribute 5 balls inside a single box. Okay, so we'll see how we do distribution. Okay, in distribution, guys, um, so in distribution, what happens is you could have the first and the third ball, first and the fourth ball here. Here you could have the fifth and the second ball. Here you could just have the third ball. Okay, not only this, in distribution you can also have all the 5 balls in a single box. For example, this single box, we'll take this. Yes, now see, now this can have 2 1 3 4 5. See, all the 5 boxes are in a, all the 5 balls are in a single box. So how many will be there? Box 2, nothing will be there. Box 3 also, nothing will be there. This is possible. Okay, similarly box 2 can all have all the 5 balls. Box 1 and 3 can go without having any balls. Okay, and the same case with box 3. So this is what distribution is about. Okay, distribution is totally different from permutation. Okay, so we, now how do we find distribution and how do we find solutions for distribution? Now you have to understand, here we are dealing with distributing n different things to n different groups. So n different groups here refer to 3 different boxes. Boxes are obviously different, they are not the same box. Okay, if it is the same box, then there is only one box, right? So there will be 3 different boxes. Even these balls are different balls. Okay, so the b1 b2 b3 b4 b5, they are all different balls. If they are same, let us suppose there is a case where the balls are not the same, we'll call it identical. Okay, when the balls are identical, there is another way of doing it, so we'll see that. But this is when the balls are different, right? So what we do here is, in this this first ball can be distributed in how many ways, guys? This first ball can go in box 1, it is a possibility, or it can go in box 2, or it can go in box 3. What does or mean? You have to keep on adding, right? So what you do is, the first one can go in box A, that is one way, or box B, or box C. So totally how many ways? 3 ways. So there are totally 3 ways in which the first ball could be placed or distributed. Okay, second ball could be distributed in how many ways? It also can take box 1 2 3 according to its convenience. Okay, okay. So this is also 3. Box 3, ball 3 could also be distributed in 3 ways. It could go into any of the boxes. Ball 4, box 4 is also, ball 4 is also can be distributed in 3 ways. Ball 5 also can be distributed in 3 ways. The important thing is, guys, all this must happen. It is not sufficient just one ball you distributed. All 5 balls must be distributed, right? So the first ball must be distributed, and the second ball must be distributed, and the third ball must be distributed, and the fourth ball must be distributed, and the fifth ball must be distributed. You know very well, whenever I use this and, we can replace it with multiplication. So what do we have here? 3 power 5. Okay, so that is why they have this formula r power n. Here what is n, what is r? Here n is the thing that you are distributing, that will be 5. R is the thing which is where you are distributing, so we are distributing in 3 places, right? So it is 3. So the formula is r power n. So how will we write it? I'll write it as 3 power 5, right guys? So I'll write it as 3 power 5. So that is what we got here, right? Look at this, 1 2 3 4 5, 5 threes. Okay, so they multiply them all, it will be 3 power 5, right? So that is what we've got. So instead of, this is the explanation behind this formula. Okay, so you have to understand the explanation behind this formula, but in exams you just can apply this formula and get the answer in seconds. Okay, so that is the aim. Now I'm going to give you a different set of numbers, see if you understood this correctly, guys. Right, now I want you to come up with the answers. Just pause the video. I want this 3 balls to be distributed in these 2 boxes. I want you to come up with the answers, guys. Pause the video, come up with the answers, and then come back, check your answer again. Okay, now there are 3 balls and we have 2 boxes. In how many ways can you distribute these 3 different balls? Okay, if it is identical, I'll let you know. Okay, these are different balls. Okay, so in how many ways can you distribute them? That is the question here. The 3 different balls in 2 boxes. Okay, so pause the video now. So I hope you have an answer here. So it is again very simple, guys. Find the value of n, find the value of r, you will get the answer very quickly. But how do we understand this? Okay, now what is n, what is r? First we'll n is the total number of things we are distributing, so it is 3. R is the total number of thing where it is distributed, so then 2 places it is distributed. So this should be what? R power n will give you 2 power 3. Okay, it should give you 2 cube, which will be 8. So 8 is your answer. Okay, so there is no doubt in it. Now how did we get it? This 1 can go to any one of these 2 places, right? So this can be distributed in 2 ways. Okay, now this 2 also can be distributed in 2 ways, 3 also can be distributed in 2 ways, because there are 2 spaces. Now you will have to multiply everything, so you will get 2 into 2 into 2, which is 8. Okay, but I want to take this further and show you those 8 cases, so that those of you who still have problem understanding this will understand it even better. Okay, now those 8 cases are, guys, see, there is a possibility where, let us assume this is box 1. Now this is box 2. Now in box 1 we could have 3 balls, not 3 balls. Okay, yes, 3 balls. We'll change this to A, we'll change this to B. Okay, this is the name of the boxes, just to avoid confusion. Okay, now in box 1 we could have all the 3 boxes. There is a possibility, right? In that case, in box 2 how much will you have? I'll have only 0. Okay, now the other way around is also possible. In box 1 you have 0, in box 2 you'll have how much? 3. Okay, so these are 2 cases. Out of this 8, we mapped 2 cases. We need 6 more. Okay, now what is the other way, guys? What is the next way? Box 1 can have 2 balls. Box 2 can have 1 ball, right? So box 1 can have 2 balls. Box 2 can have 1 ball. Okay, now this itself can be accomplished in 3 ways. How is it possible? I'll tell you. I told you box 1 can have 2 balls, right? It could be AB. If this is AB, here it will be C. If this is AC, this will be B. If this is BC, this will be A. Yes, so you can see this itself has 3. Okay, the reverse of this is also possible, right? What do I mean by reverse? A, BC, right? B or C, AB, B, AC. Yes, so did you see how much we got? We got 6 here and we have a 2 here. What is 6 plus 2? 6 plus 2 is 8. So these are the 8 cases that we are talking about, guys. Now you understand the difference between distribution and permutation. If you still don't understand, make sure you rewind the clip, watch it again, make sure that you understand it. This is very important. Okay. So the number of ways in which you can distribute 7 different chocolates to 4 boys is, first chocolate can be distributed in 4 ways, second chocolate can be distributed in 4 ways, similarly third, four, five, six, seven, all can be distributed in 4 ways. You know this, right? So you do, since all the chocolate must be distributed, it becomes 4 into 4 into 4, 4 7 times, multiply 7 times, which is 4 power 7. Very similar to how 2 into 2 into 2 or 3 into 3 into 3 into 3, all those things we did. Okay, but again, this is just for your understanding purpose. So what do you do when you see such a problem? Just take this formula, apply it. 4 power 7, here n is 7, r is 4, so r power n will give you 4 power 7. Okay, so shortcut method is to do r power n where it is 4 power 7. You get answer within 2 or 3 seconds. Okay, so make sure, but here you have to make sure this is a distribution problem. Okay, so you have to make sure that you, it is like this. Okay, make sure that it is a distribution problem, make sure there is a distribution problem, and also it is, you are distributing different things. Okay, now what if you have to distribute same things, okay, or identical things? I shouldn't call it same, I should call it identical. Okay, so which brings us to the final thing in this topic, distribution. Now here the number of ways is the same question. Instead of distributing 7 different things, you are distributing 7 identical things. Okay, so here the distribution of different things and identical things, they're not the same approach. You cannot use the same approach. We'll see there it was different, meaning you can see something and say, okay, this and this is different. Okay, you can identify the distinctness in each of those 7 balls. But here they say chocolates. Okay, we'll say chocolate. If you see them, you cannot tell one apart from the other. Okay, so you cannot tell which one is what. Okay, so because they all look together, it is like watching a twin. You'll have a hard time finding who's who, right? So similarly, they all look together, so they are identical. Okay, now if they all look together, can I just say, we'll come back to this, C. Okay, can I just say 7? There are 7 chocolates, so you see there are 7 C's, so they all look same. Okay, now what is this dash that I have here? Okay, I'll tell you. Dash, or somebody call it barricade or slash or whatever you want to call it, guys. It is there for a purpose. Okay, see, you have to distribute the 7 identical chocolates to 4 boys, right? That is your aim. You have to distribute this 7 identical chocolates to 4 boys. Okay, now if, now this, what this says is, it says first 2 chocolate goes to the first boy, the next 3 chocolates goes to the second boy, the last 2 chocolates goes to the third boy, and the fourth boy doesn't get any. That is why it says 0. Okay, now let us say, then just concentrate on this second and third part alone. Just this second and third part alone, just concentrate. Okay, now here you can see it says CCC, and there is a slash and CC. Yes, now this is uh, what they're trying to say. Second person gets 3, third person gets 2. Now let us suppose you did not have this. Now how does this look like? Does this look like two people are getting, one person is getting 3 and person is getting 2? I mean, one person is getting 3 and the second person is getting 2. Does it look like that? No, it looks like somebody is getting 5. Yes, yes. No, that is not how it should look. That is the reason, guys, why we have this barricade or slash. Okay, so this slash, you will all have it in this. Okay, in all types of permutations, we'll have a look at this. Is just one way of doing it. The second way could be this. Yes, 2 could go to the first boy, 3 could go to the second boy, the third and the fourth boys can have 1 each, and similarly 2 2 2 1. This is also a possibility, right? This is also a possibility. First person can have all the 5, the second person can have 2, and the third and the fourth boys can go without having anything. And similarly, all the 7 the first person can take, and the second, third, and the fourth boys have nothing. This is also a possibility. And similarly, this is also a possibility. All these are possibilities, and this possibilities keeps on going, guys. So you don't need to sit down and write down everything. It will take a lot of time. Now, what we trying to understand from here is, I just want to make sure we take out this zeros. Okay, so the zeros serve no purpose, guys. Okay, so just take out this zeros, remove the zeros from everything. So if you take out the 0, you'll be left with this, right? With this, still you are able to understand first person gets 2, second person gets 3, third person gets 2, and in the fourth person space there is nothing. So you assume the fourth person doesn't get anything. Okay, so it is not necessary that 0 has to be there. Okay, so write the second one as it is, as they don't have a 0 in it. Third one also doesn't have 0 in it, so no need to remove it. Fourth one has zeros, remove it, you will have it like this. Okay, fifth one again has zeros, remove it, you will have it like this. And the last one has no zeros, write it like this. Now what you can observe here is, pay close attention here, guys. You pay close attention here, you'll observe that these are all permutations. Okay, so permutations of what? There are 7 C's. Okay, there are 7 C's and 3 symbols like this. This is what we have. In all this, we have 7 C's and 3 slashes. Okay, see, 3 slashes, 7 C's, 3 slashes, 7 C's, 3 slashes, 7 C's, 3 slashes, 7 C's. So these 3 slashes and 7 C's keep permutating, they keep jumping to in one other place. That is permutation, right? Each digit keeps on jumping. Okay, so this is actually a permutation with totally 10 characters, with 7 being the same C and 3 being the same slash. Okay, and you know how to do this, right? When you have such things, you will have, first you will do the total divided by, there are 7 same C's, so you will have 7 factorial, into there are 3 same hashes, so you will have 3 factorial. So this is how you find the value. So this is the answer, guys. 10 factorial divided by 7 factorial into 3 factorial. So this is the answer, 10 factorial divided by 7 factorial into 3 factorial, and if you solve this you will get 120 as the answer. So of course you don't do this method, we have a shortcut for this. The shortcut is n plus r minus 1 c r minus 1. You know n is 7, r is 4. So 7 plus 4 minus 1 c, 4 minus 1 will give you 10c3, which will again give you 120. So I want you to follow the shortcut method, but just understand what this method, why do we apply this method, why the reason behind it. The reason is this. Okay, so identical things, n plus 1, n plus r minus 1 c, r minus 1. Okay, when it is different things, if you have to distribute different things, it is r power n. Okay, okay guys, so I hope you got a lot out of this, and permutation combination, with practice you must be able to do the problems very easily. Okay, and whenever you find something difficult, it means you've not understood the concept correctly. So go back to the basics, understand the concept, and then come back and try the problems. Okay, so I'll meet you in another video, guys. So until then, bye.